Welcome to HornAfrica Insight, your trusted source for East Africa's top news. In this episode, we look at Ethiopian Airlines averting a strike in Nigeria while unveiling a mega airport plan, Eritrea warning against Ethiopia's push for sea access, rising Egypt-Ethiopia tensions spilling into Somalia, and Somaliland deepening its financial partnership with Taiwan. 4 stories shaping the Horn of Africa right now. Subscribe, hit the bell, and let's dive in. #HornAfrica Insight. Ethiopian Airlines has successfully averted a potential strike in Nigeria after direct intervention by the government, according to Barometrics. The dispute with Nigeria's National Union of Air Transport employees centered on wages, promotions, and heavy reliance on contract staff. CEO Mesfin Tasso downplayed the issue as a routine labor matter, but the stakes were high. Nigeria is one of Ethiopia's most important markets, with multiple daily flights. Nigeria's labor minister, Muhammad Dingyadi, stepped in to mediate, leading to a memorandum of understanding. Both sides now have 2 weeks to address grievances, avoiding service disruptions. Meanwhile, in Addis Ababa, the airline revealed its $10 billion Bishoftu International Airport project, located 40 kilometers southeast of the capital. Designed to relieve congestion at Bole International Airport, this mega project is part of Ethiopian Airlines' Vision 2035, aiming to place it among the world's top 20 aviation groups. At a high-profile stakeholder showcase, the airline outlined its ambitious timeline: community resettlement by September 2025, early site work starting November, and full-scale construction by October 2026. Partners include the African Development Bank, Dar al-Handasa Consultants, and KPMG. Finance Minister Ahmed Shide emphasized collaboration with development banks and international contractors. If completed on schedule by 2030, Bishoftu Airport could position Ethiopia as Africa's leading aviation hub, boosting tourism and trade across the continent. But can Ethiopian Airlines balance its grand ambitions with the need to address labor grievances in key markets like Nigeria? Eritrea has issued a sharp warning that Ethiopia's growing push for sea access threatens regional stability, according to a statement from the Ministry of Information. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed recently argued that securing sea access is even simpler than building the GERD, inaugurated earlier this month. Asmara sees this rhetoric as a direct challenge to its sovereignty, particularly over Assab Port, which some Ethiopian military commanders have suggested was historically autonomous. Eritrea's official statement, published in Tigrinya on the ministry's website, dismisses Ethiopia's claims as legally and historically baseless, describing them as a red line. Over recent months, Ethiopian officials, including military leaders, have made remarks suggesting Ethiopia has a legitimate claim to Red Sea ports. Some Ethiopian politicians have echoed this sentiment, alleging that former Prime Minister Meles Zenawi illegally handed over Assab to Eritrea in the 1990s after the independence referendum. Eritrea views this as an attempt to reopen settled sovereignty questions, warning that such rhetoric could destabilize the entire Horn of Africa. With Ethiopia newly energized after completing its $5 billion GERD project, Abiy's administration appears determined to advance this agenda. The question is, can diplomacy contain this mounting tension, or will Ethiopia's sea access push trigger a new regional flashpoint? Somalia is at risk of becoming a proxy battleground as tensions between Egypt and Ethiopia spill over from the Nile to the Horn, according to regional analysts. Officially, the move is to support Somalia's fight against al-Shabaab, but analysts point out the deeper strategic goal: countering Ethiopia's growing influence. At the heart of the rivalry is the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, which began full operations on September 9th. Ethiopia views the $5 billion dam as essential for its development, while Egypt fears devastating water shortages, given that 90% of its population depends on the Nile. Negotiations broke down in August, prompting Cairo to vow it would take all measures to safeguard its water security. Somalia, meanwhile, has leaned closer to Egypt and Turkey after Ethiopia signed a controversial Memorandum of Understanding, a MOU, a deal to access the Indian Ocean with Somaliland in 2024, straining Addis Ababa's ties with Mogadishu. Egyptian forces are now stationed in Gedo and Hiran, near areas with Ethiopian troops, increasing the risk of direct clashes. Complicating matters further, Somalia's strained relations with Jubaland, especially after the 2024 elections, have fueled speculation that Egypt might support Mogadishu against Jubaland's leadership, long seen as close to Ethiopia. With Somalia already grappling with insurgency, economic fragility, and political divisions, the Egypt-Ethiopia rivalry risks dragging the country deeper into instability. The big question remains: can Somalia avoid being pulled into a regional power struggle it cannot afford? Somaliland is taking another bold step on the international stage by strengthening financial and diplomatic ties with Taiwan, according to Central Bank Governor Abdi Nasir A. Hirsi. During meetings in Taipei with Deputy Foreign Minister Wu Chi-chung, officials discussed efforts to modernize Somaliland's financial sector, including capacity building, digital banking technology, and integration into global payment systems. The plan also involves establishing a Somaliland Deposit Protection Fund, supported by agreements with Taiwan's Central Bank, Financial Supervisory Commission, and Central Deposit Insurance Corporation. Governor Hirsi described the cooperation as critical for both nations' prosperity. Since the partnership began in 2020, Taiwan has been one of Somaliland's most significant allies, despite its lack of international recognition. Analysts say this collaboration could make Somaliland more economically resilient, helping it access advanced financial tools and strengthen its monetary independence. But the move is also geopolitically sensitive. Deepening ties with Taiwan may draw pushback from powers wary of Taipei's influence in the Horn of Africa. Still, for Somaliland, this alliance is both practical and symbolic, signaling a determination to pursue global partnerships even without official statehood. The question is, can Somaliland leverage Taiwan's support to achieve sustainable growth without triggering new tensions in an already fragile region? From Ethiopia's aviation ambitions to Eritrea's sovereignty warnings, from Egypt-Ethiopia rivalry in Somalia to Somaliland's Taiwan ties, the Horn of Africa faces shifting alliances and rising tensions. What do you think? Can diplomacy keep the balance, or are we heading toward more confrontation? Comment below, subscribe, and follow us on X for real-time updates. This is HornAfrica Insight, where East Africa's story shines. #HornAfrica Insight.